Welcome to AI News of the Week in 20 minutes or less, usually in under 10 minutes. I'm Jonathan Green, host of the Artificial Intelligence Podcast and author of the bestseller ChatGPT Profits. The sponsor of today's video, get ChatGPT Profits absolutely free by clicking the link right below this video. As always, there were dozens of stories that didn't make the cut this week. We only cover the stories that affect how you can use AI to run your business. My goal is to give you as much information that's useful to your life in as little time as possible. Let's get right into it. Turn on the music. Our first story comes from the great state of Tennessee, where they've just passed the ELVIS Act, a Tennessee law that will protect musicians from deep fakes. They've now made it a Class A misdemeanor to make a song that sounds like an existing singer in the state of Tennessee. The punishment for this crime, as a misdemeanor in the state of Tennessee, is up to 1 year in prison and a fine of $2,500. This is the same crime as if you steal something worth less than $1,000: stalking, domestic assault, simple assault, DUI, possession of paraphernalia, possession, and violating a restraining order. Wow, those sound like they're exactly the same type of crime, and it's considered worse than all of these other crimes. These dummies done messed up. This is the stupidest law I've seen passed in a really long time, and considering that I lived in Tennessee for more than 10 years, I'm slightly embarrassed. Here's what's going to happen because of this law. Absolutely nothing. They passed it specifically because an anonymous TikTok user made a song that sounded like Drake and it went viral. Here's what you need to know. Drake is Canadian. Drake has never lived in Tennessee. Drake does not publish country music. Drake has never published a song in Tennessee. And the key word of that whole story was anonymous TikTok user. They had a massive opportunity here to create a law that would have been much smarter, which should have been, if you create a song that sounds like a celebrity, the celebrity gets a percentage. That would mean it's in civil lawsuit and they get paid off of the winnings instead of trying to put someone in jail. So much easier to enforce that because nobody is going to extradite you from around the world to Tennessee because you created a country music song. I project that this law will get zero enforcement. Nobody will ever get caught. And it's a complete and total waste of time. It makes it look like they're doing something when in fact they completely and totally failed. Here are some other reasons why this law is terrible. Number one, how are you going to prove that I'm replicating someone else's voice and I didn't just create a voice by mixing two together to create a new voice? Good luck proving that. There is no computer that can listen to two recordings and prove how I generated the voice. So they will have to find the software that I use and go through that entire process. Convicting someone of this crime is going to be a multi-million-dollar investigation, and they probably won't succeed. It's so hard to prove this. Additionally, this has existed as an industry for years. There are singers who professionally sing and sound like other people. Does this mean every single tribute band is it going out of business or going to jail? Does this mean people who re-sing old vocals when they do a remix of a song, they're all going to jail? There are a ton of reasons why this law will never work. It will not hold up in court. It's not going to pass the Supreme Court, and they should be embarrassed because they missed an opportunity here. It's unprovable. It's massively expensive to launch a crime. And the person they're going after is already known as anonymous. How are they going to catch him? Good job, Tennessee. Now let's get to a story that's a little more interesting from Stabilty AI. We have a lot of news from Stabilty. The first story is good. The rest are not so good. They've introduced a new product called Stable Video 3D, where you can take a small 2D image and convert it into a 3D character. This is very cool when you combine it with yesterday's technology I shared with you from Leonardo AI. We can now generate images with transparent backgrounds. You can then use this tool to turn them into a 3D asset that you can put into a video game or into a movie. This is a very exciting piece of story, and it's very interesting to see what's possible. And I encourage you to check out the link below this video to watch their demo video to see exactly what they're doing to take a 2D image and turn it into a 3D item. It's a very short video clip. It's only 8 seconds and it does repeat, but it gives you an idea of where Stabilty is going. Now on to the bad news. Key Stable Diffusion researchers left Stabilty AI earlier this week. I've heard unconfirmed reports that it's because of the CTO. People don't like working under him and they think he's a dum-dum. Is it true or not? I don't know, but here's the good news. They kicked out the CEO and put the CTO in charge of everything. The person that the researchers left to get away from is now in charge of the shop. This is an important story because Stabilty AI is the foundational technology behind most image generation. A couple of weeks ago, Stabilty AI got in trouble because they were trying to steal data from Midjourney. They tried to download everything on Midjourney's servers, and now they're banned from using Midjourney, which is interesting because Midjourney is built on top of an open source technology developed by Stabilty AI. It's an interesting circle, but this does mean this is a story that matters because most image generators use stable diffusion. What does this mean for the future? It's never a good sign when the top researchers and the CEO jump ship. We've seen this happen before when they tried to launch a coup at OpenAI. I don't know what's going to happen at Stability, but let's just say Stability stock is not going up right now. Now let's get onto the most interesting stories of the week. Number one, there's a new tool called a Metaprompt. This is from Claude. This is a prompt enhancer. And here's how it works. You install a piece of code on your computer that does require the Claude API. Then you can use Python to run the code and it will take your prompts and improve them. I'm going to show you how to use this later this week, but for now, I wanted to cover this in the news because 4 prompt improvers have entered the market this week. In addition to this very interesting Claude prompt improver, we also have a new technology, an idea from Matt Schumer, which is where you have Claude Opus train Claude Haiku. Opus is 60 times more expensive, or a better way of saying it, if you can get the answer from Claude Haiku, it's 60 times cheaper and 10 times faster. That's a huge jump. Now you can get the technology for cheaper and faster using one Claude model to train another Claude model. This is an open source tool. You can get it on GitHub. The link will be right below this video. You can check this out. It's called GPT-Prompt Engineer. It's a very interesting idea. And we have 2 more because this is the crazy week. The next idea is called Quiet Star. This is an idea of giving the AI an inner monologue. It's a way of prompting that says, I want you to think before you answer. The biggest result so far seen is with Mistral 7B. That's a small open source model, one of the smallest models that's considered good out there. And it jumped its scores from 36.3 to 47 to 47.2%. Then it doubled the math performance of another test. This is a very interesting idea. And it's exactly what I do before I answer a question. I think and then I answer. We're so busy chasing super fast response rates that we're getting a lower quality response in order to get the faster response. This is another technique to answer that. And I will be covering this in a more detailed video showing this exact technique later this week. But let me get to our last story, which is very cool. Ruben Hassid posted a very good story on Twitter all about chain of thought. The idea is to give a set of instructions to the AI before it takes action. Read this article, create a set of bullet points, write down the top 3 highlights, write down a response to me explaining this article. That is the idea of a chain of thought, and it's covered a lot more detail in this Twitter thread, which I'll link below. The basic idea here is to break a task into multiple parts and get the AI to do each task in a row. And testing does show you get much better responses. This technique has been around for a little bit longer, but it's now refined. We're going to cover it later this week, which is exactly why you should subscribe so that later on this week, when I publish that video, it will appear in your feed. And as always, if you hit the like button, that will encourage more people to see my videos and will ensure that you see more videos like this in your feed. If you hit that bell, you get notified every single time I post a video. And that is all of your AI news of the week from us here at Serve No Master. As always, my aim is to give you all the information you need and none of the fluff. I'll be back next week with another episode of all the AI news you need in 20 minutes or less. And honestly, I'm always trying to get in 10 minutes or less. Please subscribe, follow, hit the bell, whatever you need to do to get notified every single time I post a video so that you always know what you need to know. I read hundreds of stories and distill them down to only what you need in 20 minutes or less. This is Jonathan Green, signing off. Thank you so much for watching one of my videos. Hit the like button, and then I've got a couple of sweet videos that I think you're gonna like. I've got one here and another one over here. You're gonna love them.